Next, on Great Performances, a behind-the-scenes journey with Maestro Yannick Nézet-Séguin, music director at the Metropolitan Opera and the Philadelphia Orchestra.
Music is an art form that doesn't live unless you bring it to life. Conductors, we have to bring it to life in our mind, to hear it in the silence.
Director Susan Fromke traces Yannick's meteoric rise from a budding young Canadian conductor.
When at 20, 21, you're already able to conduct ensembles, then, you know, I knew I could dream bigger.
To a master at work, guiding opera's rising and greatest stars.
You need to imagine that the sound is between your torso and your hands, and you're sort of holding the sound.
Follow this determined and destined music man's path to reach the pinnacle of the opera world.
Maestro Yannick Nézet-Séguin is making his Met debut in the pit. Brace yourself, here's Carmen.
Yannick, an artist's journey, is next. Major funding for Great Performances is provided by and by contributions to your PBS station from viewers like you. Thank you.
Big announcement for the world of opera today. Montreal conductor Yannick Nézet-Séguin will become the next director of the Met. It is one of the top opera houses in the world.
The Metropolitan Opera announced Yannick Nézet-Séguin as its new music director today. He'll begin his duties there in 2017 and take over full-time by 2020.
The 43-year-old Canadian maestro is considered a music visionary. He was primed to take the role in 2020, but with the need for fresh leadership, he was thrust into the job of a lifetime 2 years earlier than expected. Becoming just the third music director in the Met's illustrious history.
How are you?
I'm doing okay. How you doing?
Very well, thank you.
Good. Nice to see you back.
Nice to be back, actually, and for good.
Yes, indeed.
Hi, good afternoon.
I'll see you tomorrow.
Oh,
Yes, anytime, anytime. Be my guest. Okay, so for me, it would be more to do just your first few lines and yeah, just to go through it because we have time. And I remember when we dreamed about that, you know, we were doing this here and they said, okay, we need to do a new production. So it's craft art.
So here we are.
There's an excitement in this music which is a little sick, you know, from the start. Fra le tazze più viva la festa. Even this, you know, if you look, there's this doubt, I find.
Yes, she's fighting the doubt all the time.
And it's pianissimo in the orchestra, and I'm finding that if we are too da-da-dee-da-da-da, it's maybe missing the point. So, with all this, why don't we get started? So, it's gorgeous. I'm still thinking the Fra le tazze.
Yeah.
What can we do for this pianissimo?
Oh, yes, there. Oh, okay. Sure.
Fra le tazze più viva è la festa. What I only tried to do with Diana was to help her maybe erase some of the layers of previous productions that she'd been doing. And also for myself, just go back to the score. The truth, if there's such a thing in music, isn't the score, isn't what Verdi wrote. But the truth is what we find as a solution with these notes. Because why are they asking "E goder voi potrete" right away? See? So maybe there's something in your voice that already signals, we're not sure.
Oh, I can tell it to her. I can say, Fra le tazze più viva la festa, something like that.
Absolutely. Something like this, because now I felt that you were trying to get the medium very strong. Yeah.
No, okay, good.
But then the tempo is a little more measured.
Stay elegant.
Yes.
All right.
Elegance, l'eleganza. I love that. From Giacomo. So, bam, bam. Giacomo da flora, e Giacomo.
Flora, amici, la notte che resta.
Brava.
Altre gioie qui fate brillar, fra le tazze più viva la festa.
Sì. Now.
Lo voglio,
Sì.
dal piacere m'avvive che sogno,
I love all of that. Unfortunately, the mistake we make sometimes, me and my colleagues, we tell the singer as a conductor, oh, you should wait until coming in because it's written this way. But that's not interesting. What's interesting is why. And in the why, you get suspension points, you get question marks, you get exclamation points.
che modesto e vigile, allegre sole ascese, e nuova febbre accese, destandomi
words. Brava.
I should not slow down, sorry. No?
Perfect.
And then we have
Brava. And then more the croce. Brava. Fabulous. Oh. It's good to be back together.
Yes.
Oh, no. Yeah, way too long. No, this is beautiful. And let's do the folie tomorrow.
Good.
Okay?
Good evening, everybody. Thank you so much for being here. My name is Clemency Burton-Hill. I'm a writer and broadcaster, and I am so thrilled to be here as we celebrate the beginning of Yannick Nézet-Séguin's tenure as the music director of the Metropolitan Opera.
Thank you. Thank you. You know, I felt comfortable really from the start here, which is over 8 years ago. There was this connection which was really unique, but I kept thinking I need to be more experienced, I need to have more time, and one day maybe we'll see. Anyway, the job was not free. And as conductors, as managers or everyone, you have to first embrace the fact that as Maestro Giulini, my mentor, used to say, we're merely luggage in transit. Of course, saying that the institutions have a much bigger and longer life than we as music directors or managers or anyone working in the theater. We are custodians of something bigger than us. And that doesn't mean that one should be afraid of it. And now I'm approaching it, of course, very differently, because the only way of making it work is by embracing it fully and not thinking it's too big. So I'm here to make it work, basically.
Well, we are all depending on you, so no pressure.
I love your energy, I love your smile, I love everything about you. I hope it works out well for you.
Well, I love everything about you too, and I love this jacket. So this
you like his outfit too? I think it's great. Why not?
Hi.
You have to take a picture with me.
Of course, if you want.
But you have to hug me.
I hug you, of course, like this. Oh, hi. 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 Group of young people?
Yes.
Group photo.
That'll be amazing.
Group photo.
Yannick in the middle.
Yeah, so join me and keep close. Yeah, we like each other. It's good.
And beside your parents, what other influence is so important in your becoming?
You know, my piano teacher was actually really
That's
important. I studied with her between 13 and 21 years old, and she was from Brazil, very old school, trained in Paris, and I think I had the chance of growing up on great values with my parents.
Quand on me parle de Yannick, il me parle d'un talent, c'est vrai, très vrai. Tout à fait vrai. Mais c'est un talent travaillé. Donc, il a eu un guide. Et ce guide l'a guidé de façon magistrale. Lui était l'élève guide et moi, j'étais le professeur guide. Et c'est comme ça que notre relation est devenue une relation de travail et d'amitié.
À 2 ans, il écoutait, dans ce temps-là, c'était un stéréo, c'était un appareil pour faire jouer le long jeu et mettre l'aiguille sur le disque. Et Yannick écoutait de la musique populaire ou classique, peu importe, et il aimait tellement ça qu'il il voulait toujours l'écouter. On a été obligé de lui montrer à 2 ans comment mettre lui-même l'aiguille sur le disque parce qu'il demandait sans cesse « Oui, encore, 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 encore ».
Music was part of my life always. There was something quite common about, listening to music and having parents who had been musically trained a little bit when they were young.
Tu m'as dit que j'étais faite pour une drôle de vie. J'ai des idées dans la tête et je fais ce que j'ai envie.
They introduced me and my sisters to many kinds of music because they were listening to chansons françaises and then to opera and then to classical and then to real Quebec pop and some Elvis Presley and I don't know. It was really eclectic.
Si je sais que tu m'aimes la vie que tu aimes au fond de moi.
It was therefore natural that my sisters and me, we would learn music.
Nous, on avait dit à 5 ans, vous commencerez à apprendre le piano. Nos 2 filles, graduellement, et donc apprenaient le piano et en jouaient. Et lui avait hâte d'avoir 5 ans pour pouvoir lui aussi en jouer.
Son professeur disait « Il a tellement de mémoire, il lit une fois la musique et il s'en souvient, donc il la joue, donc il faut que je lui donne toujours du nouveau répertoire. »
Music, my mother would say that I had great ear and I had great memory and strong, affinities right away. I'm not sure this is really my recollection.
Vous êtes né chef d'orchestre, là, vous?
On dirait presque. Mais je suis né artiste, ça c'est clair.
Vous êtes né artiste?
Ça c'est clair. J'ai commencé par dessiner beaucoup, de façon presque...
Mais vous dessiniez quoi?
J'ai commencé par dessiner un peu n'importe quoi. Puis à un moment donné, je ne sais pas d'où c'est venu cette fascination-là.
So Yannick was writing a title page, drawings from Yannick, 1980-1981, 5 years old and 6 years old, and he did that on May 13, 1981. And the first theme he wrote is Jesus. So, okay, here is Moses. He was studying Jesus at school, and when he was going to church, and here is more and more of Jesus, more and more, and nobody was asking him to draw Jesus. He was drawing Jesus because he wanted to draw Jesus. (1984). So he was 9.
Jean-Paul II est venu faire dans sa tournée nord-américaine, il est venu à Montréal quelques jours. Yannick a été actif parmi les enfants qui ont participé à divers événements avec le pape. Et on avait une journée pluvieuse extraordinaire, une pluie battante pendant le grand rassemblement. Et le pape voulait toujours parler dans la langue du peuple qui le recevait. Donc le pape s'est mis à parler français.
Au nom du Père et du Fils et du Saint-Esprit.
Yannick, ça l'a saisi, cette façon papale de discourir. Alors, Yannick aimait imiter. Mais pour imiter le pape, le mieux, c'est d'imiter avec les habillements, tout ce qu'il faut.
For me, I fell in love with music really when I started singing in a choir. This is where music in a group, that started to make sense. And very quickly, then music took the first place in my life. And not only music, conducting. Because immediately I saw my choir conductor, and this is what I wanted to do and wanted to be.
After that, he began to draw orchestras. He stopped drawing Jesus. And when he took the theme of the orchestras, he drew orchestras. He was drawing orchestras with a podium and a conductor. And what he told me at that time is that he saw himself on the podium once. And after, he stopped drawing, like he had discovered his career, his goal in life. So he stopped, and he wrote fin, the end.
Bonjour les enfants. Y a-t-il des enfants musiciens parmi vous? Je voudrais m'adresser à ceux-là particulièrement. Je suis venue pour vous parler de quelque chose de merveilleux, la musique. Ah, la musique, un enchantement. La musique, une éducation. La musique, c'est fait pour chacun de nous. Quelle source d'harmonie qu'est un orchestre, qu'est mon orchestre. Je pourrais vous en dire beaucoup plus long sur la musique. Mais ce qui est important, c'est que la musique reste dans votre cœur une chose indispensable pour qu'elle grandisse et dure d'âge en âge. Maintenant, je vais diriger un petit extrait du boléro de Ravel. Et sur ces mots, j'aimerais bien vous revoir. À bientôt.
not to stop the drill. Good. Tra le tazze più pianissimo. Thank you. So we need to make sure that we have somewhere to go to hear the crescendo. So let's continue. 64, pianissimo. So, sempre lì. But more this front, bass. That's great. In the pianissimo, it helps them. More crescendo. Yeah, bravi. And no E flat, no fermata, no nothing, which actually is better for the character. I'm not against traditions if someone wants to show off, but also at that time, she's not triumphing. And that's important to know. Violetta, it's not about this. She just wants to keep her own. So, il mio pensiero, there's more this drive to live. Let's go on a little bit. Act 2. So from 6. Yeah, this A flat is all. Good. Mezzo forte. Bravi. Let's take a nice break.
Okay. See you later, huh?
See you later.
Maestro, thank you so much for being here. These are students from our Long Island City High School marching band, advanced choir, and advanced orchestra, right? Yes, great. Who's first?
I'm Laura. I'm a soprano in the advanced choir. During the performance, you were talking and singing. I wanted to know what language you were speaking. It kind of sounded like a bit of everything all at once.
Yeah. The opera is in Italian, so some of the words you heard were Italian just because of the text or also because of the indications that are in the parts. Allegro or adagio, which are all Italian terms. And so, you know, communicating as a conductor, music is the language. Then as a conductor, you communicate with your gestures, with your eyes, but some of the things, the point of these rehearsals is also to stop and make sure we organize things.
Well, he's in our music, there are cues of the words. And you'll see there's a lot of dead time where if the singers were here, we'd be hearing that. So he's helping us with the timing of that.
Yeah. I'm pretending to be the singer, basically.
He sounds really good, doesn't he?
Yeah.
Most definitely.
You had a question.
Yes.
Hello, I'm Taisha. I'm also a soprano. I wanted to know if you play any instruments yourself.
Yeah, I play piano. But that's the only instrument I play seriously.
I actually think your instrument is the orchestra.
Hmm.
And I think in communicating with each other through somebody like this, with his body language, with his knowledge and his idea for the new sound that we're trying to acquire now with him, it's a big deal. We have to work together and we have to work according to him. And I honestly feel that I love being in the middle of all of that. I love it. I love when the singers are up there. I love when things go wrong. I love seeing how we get out of it, because things do go wrong. Sometimes it's funny, sometimes it's horrifying, but it's always something new.
Friends, thank you so much. I always like to close when we work with artists with, if you could have a billboard in Times Square specifically for student musicians, what would it say? But it has to all fit on a billboard.
Gosh. Wow.
For student musicians.
If you love it, do it.
And don't give up. It's nothing worth having is easy.
And you'll hear a lot of no's before you hear your first yes.
For sure.
Yeah.
Ignore them.
Yeah.
And just be yourself. The world wants from artists to feel the true self. You don't try to fit in. Just be yourselves.
Thank you so much.
À 10 ans, il a décidé de devenir chef d'orchestre. Il m'a demandé, « Maman, peux-tu téléphoner au conservatoire pour demander comment on peut devenir chef d'orchestre? »
Yannick Nézet-Séguin, quand vous avez appelé au conservatoire pour dire « Je veux devenir chef d'orchestre », comment on fait? Qu'est-ce qu'ils vous ont dit?
Ils ont presque ri. Mais c'est-à-dire, non, ça a été très bien comme réponse.
C'est inattendu.
Bon, c'est inattendu. Donc, ils ont dit, est-ce que tu joues d'un instrument? Bien sûr, le piano. Alors, c'est en piano. Ils m'ont expliqué. Puis moi, c'est drôle. Évidemment, ça m'avait pas... Comme je le dis, c'était un appel. C'était pas complètement mûrement réfléchi, là. Donc, moi, j'avais vu ça dans le journal, direction d'orchestre au conservatoire. Ça, ben, ils se donnent des cours, c'est parfait. Sans réaliser tout ce que ça prenait. Tout ce que... Bon, je l'ai réalisé très vite, quand même. Je pense que j'ai eu, avec Mme Campos, une rigueur dans l'apprentissage et une plénitude, ou en tout cas quelque chose de très, très, très complet.
Petit à petit, le professeur décèle quelque chose dans cet élève que les autres n'ont pas. Ce n'est pas mieux, ce n'est pas pire. C'est différent. Le talent n'est pas un miracle. Le talent est un accident. La personne a ce type d'audition intérieure ou ne l'a pas. Un élève qui m'arrive dans la classe à me dire « Madame, je veux devenir chef d'orchestre ». Je le regarde et je dis « C'est bien, tu as décidé ». Si tu as décidé, tu vas souffrir parce que c'est du travail. Le talent, c'est du travail. On ne te donne pas, le professeur ne te donne pas le talent. Les parents ne te donnent pas le talent. Il faut sortir.
I was having my piano lessons at the Montreal Conservatory of Music and all the theory and composition. And I trained for becoming a concert pianist, but I never wanted this. And I knew this, and my piano teacher knew that too. But she said, as long as you're in my class, you're gonna do all the exercise and train really as if you were becoming a concert pianist. And that was the best education I could have wished for, because only through this kind of discipline can a conductor address the best orchestras in the world later, because I know what they are going through, instrumentally speaking. In parallel, I was going from section leader of the church choir. It was a choir of the Montreal Cathedral. And then conducting masses on Sundays, then eventually conducting parts of concerts. And at age 18, I was named the artistic director of that choir. I had to already affirm my authority on people much older than me.
Il avait deux bons amis à ce moment-là, un ami du conservatoire, Pierre Tourville, et aussi Stéphanie Potier.
We were looking for a roommate, and we heard that Yannick may want to move out from his parents' place, and so we just asked him, would you be our roommate? And he just said yes. And then, yes, the rest is history, I guess.
I remember at that time, I felt I didn't have enough experience in conducting instruments, you know, besides voices. So with Stéphanie and Pierre, we just decided to found La Chapelle de Montréal, this ensemble of voices and instruments dedicated to Baroque music. At first, for one purpose, we were crazy about Bach's St. John Passion.
I guess we were just drawn into that sacred music, and well, Bach is, you know, he's kind of a god himself.
Je l'avais pas changé, bémol.
It may be a strange idea. In fact, when you think about it, with young 19, 20-year-old people wanting to perform that sacred music, but I guess it just elevated us at that time. La musique de Bach n'est pas nécessairement une expérience religieuse, mais bien spirituelle. Et à ce moment-là, c'était vraiment pour toucher à une musique plus forte que nous, plus haute que nous.
Leur premier concert était en mars 1996 et c'était formidable. Claude Gingras fait une critique dans La Presse, qui était à ce moment-là le journal, et là, il avait intitulé « Les enfants de la chapelle ».
Il est très talentueux. Il est tellement talentueux que j'en ai les larmes aux yeux. Ça, c'est le génie, monsieur. Puis ça fait longtemps que je le sais. La première fois que je l'ai entendu, il avait 21 ans, il m'avait envoyé un petit mot. Il dirigeait un petit groupe de musique baroque. Je reçois un petit bout de papier disant « Si un soir vous n'avez rien à faire, on serait heureux de vous recevoir ». Alors j'ai eu la curiosité d'aller les voir.
Mais ça, il était tout jeune, là.
21 ans, et il était inconnu.
This ensemble, I'm very proud to say, lasted 8 seasons. These were crucial years where I learned my craft. Verdi is one of the most important composers of opera, and La Traviata is at the center of Verdi's operatic journey. After the accent left, symbolically, it's so good because it's right at the heart of what we do in opera. Okay, Dunque, we decided I was sort of giving it.
Yeah.
And you do it with me, that's fine. I hear some people doing, Ceci, un brindisi, right?
Yeah, it's very
Ceci. Try it.
Dunque a te, sì sì, un brindisi.
So I don't know what's... Okay, Vifia is your C. I think now it's very long to him. It's a bit too long. And then as a result, he doesn't know where to rebond. You have Vifia grato, si, si, lo già ancora. Can you do just this? L'estro non m'arride.
L'estro non m'arride, non sei tu un maestro. Vifia grato, sì, sì, lo già ancora.
And also the cor, not too long.
Sì, lo già ancora.
Good. It's a detail and a very important one, I believe. I think what makes us even more fortunate artists compared to any other profession is that we have the opportunity every day to do it better than the day before. When we wake up every day, we should be a better person, a better version of ourselves. As artists, I think we have no choice. It's built in. We have a million things we want to correct all the time. Doesn't mean that it was bad what we did. As a young conductor, one has to accept that the first time you do a piece, it can be good. But hopefully it's better the next time, and hopefully it's better 10 years later, hopefully it's better 20 years later. Okay, good, very good, very good. So one last question for you, Diana, in Act 1. Il mio pensier. I'm trying to stay very stable so then you can breathe.
Okay.
Il mio pensier.
Good, very good, very good. Okay.
That's a lot of stuff.
Yeah.
What do you want to do? Start that again?
Can you tell me the time? I can see.
Yes, of course. It's 5:11.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. She's rushing an awful lot of that in the aria cadenzas. No, she
Yeah.
doesn't take much time.
Yeah, okay. Okay, but this we won't solve here, so tell me something I can solve now.
right?
Okay.
So
Yeah.
the chorus,
Yeah.
the standard, the chorus is much too loud here on the brass. All the part that
Yeah.
The best until the end, the brass is way too down.
Yeah. Okay. Then the piano at the beginning, everybody can be softer here, but then too.
Dell'invito, the guys can sing the very first phrase from the men needs a little more bite.
Yeah.
Dell'invito.
Yeah, a little
And
bit
then
more.
It was a little...
Because every day we work on the same music and we want to be worthy of the great scores we have to play, to sing, to conduct, to interpret.
In the libiamo. In the libiamo.
And because we feel always that we could do better, brings the question very, at least it did for me, the question, why are we doing this if, do I want to be eternally unsatisfied because it was not perfection? And yet, what is perfection also?
So I shouldn't wait for any light.
I think perfection is also in the risk-taking. Perfection is even in the accidents. And yet, I realized early on that yes, we want perfection and we should strive for it, because otherwise, why would we be doing this? But there's a beauty of never quite reaching it, because then that allows us to try it even harder, better the next day.
Sempre a freddo e pensa.
Scherzate.
E tra fusti ogni ricola fanno qui voloni voi chiese.
Cessate. Nulla finite.
Non v'inganno.
But it's not loud from here, so I'm sorry, I cannot do a light version. I'm sorry, just a second. Yeah, so first, I mean, I understand what you're saying. It's so not loud here, so I don't want to do a chamber version of Traviata. So if there's something, everybody needs to just spit.
The balance is fine. I just think the percussion is heavy, and it feels thick when...
Okay, let me hear. Can I ask only percussion and brass to play here 4 before 12? 4 before 12. Just this forte, just 4 bars. Okay? And in the fortes, if you try to play as loud, but just shorter and lighter, in a way. Okay? Oh, did that resonate? Okay, good. So that will be the solution. Thank you.
Fissarmi, gli spasimi del dolore in me. Rinasce, agito, insolito, vigor. Ma io,
Il aimait beaucoup acheter des CD. Et très jeune, tout son argent qu'il recevait en cadeau, c'était pour s'acheter un CD. Ces CD-là lui ont permis de découvrir, entre autres, le maestro Giulini.
Giulini's recordings were, I was a young teenager, and for me there was no question, Giulini's interpretations were the ones I admired the most.
Il voulait le rencontrer, Giulini, mais c'était pas nécessairement facile, donc il avait la volonté de le faire.
Il a écrit la lettre, et je l'ai encore, cette lettre-là. Et comme ça a rejoint le maestro Giulini. Yannick était allé participer à un concours de duo de piano avec sa collègue Jennifer Bourdage. Ils étaient tous les deux en Italie.
And almost like a sign from destiny, as I was calling my parents from Trieste, Italy, to say, we didn't advance to the next step in the competition, so we're gonna spend a few free days in Italy. My mother said, would you believe Giulini just sent you a fax? And on his fax, he said, please call me at this number. I called him and I said, I'm in Italy. He said, do you want to come visit me? I took the train the next day and went to spend some time with him.
Il est sorti de cette rencontre avec un petit mot du maestro qui l'invitait à le suivre en répétition et en concert. C'était des concerts avec l'Orchestre de chambre d'Europe, un peu partout, là, dans les villes italiennes, et pas seulement en Italie. Et Yannick suivait en train, à petit budget.
Quand j'écoute Giulini, j'ai l'impression d'entendre quelque chose de purement métaphysique. Et là, je voulais aller le voir pour voir concrètement qu'est-ce qui se passe.
Et comment il faisait?
Comment il fait, c'est ça? Parce que essayer d'attraper ne serait-ce qu'une partie de cet art-là qui me dépasse.
Always saying that the clarity of the conductor comes from the clarity of the thought. And if your thought is clear, then the gesture will be clear. Even the slightest interference between the thought of what you want to hear and thinking how you're going to get it makes it not so clear for the musicians. So the arms and the gestures are the extension of the thought. I remember when I started, like every young conductor, I wanted to show something. So if I wanted to hold a fermata, you know, I would show this is the fermata, then we cut off, and then we're starting again. And just the action of showing, which means thinking about the gesture. I remember subconsciously seeing the musicians doing this with me, a little bit like you're on a boat. And now I just try never to think about it. If I want a chord to be together, the whole orchestra doing pow, I'm just gonna do pow, it's there. Don't think if the orchestra is gonna follow you or not. They're gonna follow if this is really clear where you want to go.
Deuxième mouvement. On commence par le deuxième.
I remember one teacher telling me, you know, you're not tall, and at that time I was very, very slim, and he said, you know, don't be afraid to use the full range of the lateral with your hands in order to imagine that the sound is always in your arms. That's also the way Giulini was expressing it later. That you need to imagine that the sound is between your torso and your hands, and you're sort of holding the sound.
Allô, papa? Ça va? Yes. Êtes-vous en train de manger? Ouais, c'est très bien. Très, très bien.
Mon gros chat.
Ok, c'est ça, tu perds ton souffle, là, c'est ça. Bon. Oui, reste là. Non. Nous autres, on a un premier concert, en fait, ce soir, là, c'est pour l'UQAM, la 50e de l'UQAM. Fait qu'on s'en va dans quelques minutes. Fait que nous, puis après ça, on part lundi, comme vous le savez bien. Our life is a life in music. It's always been that way. At a young age, I would practice in my room or at the conservatoire, and he would study his scores. Still today. I have my music studio. He sits with the cats on the sofa in the living room and studies score. We discuss a lot about music, the music ideas, the music history, the interpretations. Yannick and I have always been very interested in the recordings, all the greatest artists who have been around to get inspiration.
Oui, dis-leur qu'on va les appeler.
Ben, à bientôt, on vous entend très fort, puis c'est ça, on va vous appeler régulièrement pour que vous vous sentiez comme dans la tournée un peu. OK, bye. Bye bye. Bonne soirée. Merci.
Yannick disait, j'ai besoin d'un orchestre. Un orchestre, c'est l'instrument d'un chef. Quelqu'un qui veut devenir chef d'orchestre, il a besoin d'un orchestre. Alors, l'orchestre métropolitain, c'est tout un privilège là, pour Yannick, à 25 ans, d'être choisi à la tête de cet orchestre-là. Il voulait diriger son orchestre métropolitain ici et il les adorait, mais il voulait faire une carrière internationale. Ça a été une période de travail très, très soutenue et de stress aussi, de rencontrer toujours, semaine après semaine, des nouveaux orchestres. Et lui, qui avait l'air très jeune, il a encore l'air très jeune à 44 ans, imaginez à 25 ans, il avait l'air d'un petit garçon. Le concierge ne voulait pas le laisser entrer dans la salle. Il disait, non, non. Il disait, oui, je suis chef d'orchestre. Ah ah! Chef d'orchestre. La veille d'une répétition, c'était l'angoisse de ne pas être à la hauteur.
I was very nervous. I remember before my German debut in Frankfurt, Pierre had to tell me in the middle of the night, you stop breathing, Yannick, breathe, breathe. A new orchestra means a new group of friends, again starting from scratch, building the trust.
Mais il m'a dit, il y a une chose que je peux faire, c'est de maîtriser ma partition parfaitement. Donc, il étudiait, il étudiait, il étudiait. C'était comme ça à chaque fois, à chaque nouvel orchestre. Nerveux la veille, nerveux le matin. Et après la première répétition, c'était comme un autre homme. Et là, les musiciens se rendaient compte jusqu'à... Ils découvraient cet homme-là, ce jeune homme-là, cet homme musical qui est Yannick. Ça a été Toulouse, ça a été la Staatskapelle de Dresde, ça a été ensuite Vienne, Berlin, tous les orchestres, toujours faire sa marque, toujours être parfaitement en possession de ses partitions. Donc, il y a eu là, une période qui a duré environ une dizaine d'années où il a progressé au niveau international et où nous, on voyageait avec lui. On était un support familial et je crois que ça c'était capital pour Yannick, que sa famille puisse le suivre dans ces périodes difficiles.
till they start. So it's really beautiful. Just so you know what I think about this moment, not that it needs words necessarily, but why there's always, you give the turn, ya da da da, ya da da da, and you keep alternating between your F and F flat and the minor, and then just A. I'm convinced that this is Mahler knowing that once he will reach the final D flat major, it's going to be over. No more music will be written. So it's someone just trying to hang on to it, say, no, let's not finish now. So why I'm saying it, because I think first it should never be so conclusive when you do, for example, 176 violas. The four notes, di, da, di, da, should be more an energy of, oh, let's keep going, let's not finish. And sound-wise, I think it's beautiful. Let's never forget to still vibrate up there so that it doesn't become dry, okay? Now, let's go to the beginning of the movement. Even at a very young age, I was drawn to the music that was maybe the darkest or had the most significance in terms of helping us understand life after death. The Adagio of Mahler's Ninth Symphony, I hold very close to my heart. I mean, it is heartbreaking music, and I believe that these masterpieces, you have to actually start doing them very young in order to maybe catch a glimpse of what they can bring to the world. And hopefully do them enough to try and get closer to the essence of the masterpiece. And full force. Yeah. And hold. And now in the A there. calling me. Allô? Ben, c'était bien ici aussi, là. Franchement, on avait le temps, mais c'était une musique qui demande beaucoup de détails, mais je me suis pas choqué, mais tu sais, j'ai dit, là, écoutez, là, le scherzo, là, c'est trop propre, là. Faut que vous soyez sale, là. Vous êtes dans une cabine dans les montagnes, là, puis vous avez pas pris de bain depuis 1 an, là. Tu sais, là, je sais pas, là, puis là, ça lui faisait rire, mais je dis, allez-y, là, il faut. Super. OK, à tantôt. So I'm gonna close my eyes a little bit now.
J'étais très exigeante dans le travail qu'il faisait pour devenir chef d'orchestre. Et il l'a fait avec une modestie que j'admire jusqu'à aujourd'hui. Je crois que c'est la meilleure chose qu'on peut faire dans ce monde. S'améliorer en se souhaitant s'améliorer.
We're still gonna be there on time. Amazing. Yeah, at the sign, yeah. Okay. Thank you so much. My pleasure. Thank you, and see you later, huh? Yes. Thank you. Thank you so much.
Okay.
Hi. 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 Hi.
You're early.
Well.
We're on time. Ben told me 5 minutes.
Yeah, doing my best.
Wow.
Hi, everyone. Hi.
Hey, hi.
I saw you come in,
Yes,
actually.
yes.
Hi. Hi. How are you? Yeah, you're fine? Yeah? Good. So you're gonna give me energy? No, I always have energy, you know. So, yeah. Did you ever question yourself why he put a rest after 2?
I think it's, she catches herself for a half a second, like,
Oh,
am I
nice.
gonna say this? Yes, I am gonna say
Oh,
this.
that's very nice. I've never imagined it this way. And I love that. 2. So then, in the 2, there should be like ... You know? Now it almost felt too conclusive. 2. Yeah. Okay. Yeah. No, go. Good. That's it. Now let's say. Okay, it's great. Then we had a line to go, so I'm really excited now. I mean, of course, this is your final note, right? So you can definitely go. I mean, your B flat was fantastic. Right? So you can go to the end of your lungs and of your capacities. Of course, when at 20, 21, you're already able to conduct ensembles, then, you know, I knew I could dream bigger. Out of the blue, I have to say, the Montreal Opera called me and offered me the job of assistant conductor and chorus master. Opera had been occupying very little of my brain and heart. But the artistic and general manager at the time, I was sitting in his office and he said, "So, I hear you conduct choirs." I said, "Yes." "Do you want to be our chorus master?" And then I started saying, and he said, "Do you want it or not?" So I had no choice. I said, "Okay, yes." And opera, in a way, grabbed me.
We've always been dreamers, I guess. In fact, since we've started being together, everybody dreams. That's what keeps you alive. That's what keeps you wanting to achieve your artwork. To get better, of course, you dream of being at the Met one day, but you cannot really believe that this is something that can really happen. But I felt it at a very early stage of our lives, probably in 1999 or something like that, when we first went at the Met as listeners, and I was there and I just said, "I see you there. You'll be there one day."
Maestro Yannick Nézet-Séguin is making his Met debut in the pit. Brace yourself. Here's Carmen.
Now calling Maestro Nézet-Séguin to the pit, please. Maestro to the pit for Act 1, please.
You know, you open the score for the first time and it's really complete silence. But this is the only way also to train your ear to imagine what you're gonna hear without having the actual sound. Again, Giulini was saying that music is an art form that doesn't live unless you bring it to life. If I show this to most people, it doesn't mean anything. So it needs to actually be brought to life. But conductors, we have to bring it to life in our mind, to hear it in the silence, so that when you actually hear it for real, you can have a meeting of the imagination and the reality. I guess the first thing that I do is I try to divide the sections, the phrases, the motifs, the big chunks and the big sections. And I actually do a little bit of color sometimes in opera, just for the characters. So here we see that Mère Marie, she's blue. I decided she was blue. So that helps me visually when I conduct in the pit, having immediately the color, and then I associate it with the right character. And this Ave Maria was the genius of it, is that actually there's not so much happening. It's so heartfelt, this prayer by the nuns, that the way of suggesting this is very little instrumentation, not overload. And that's reflecting in how the page looks pretty bare, actually. Here it's chorus a cappella and only a few chords here. And I circled here this oboe because it's answering their Jesu. And then there's just the oboe doing the same thing. And also, like any good study, the fact of writing something means that you're learning. I mean, an opera is long and it's big and there's a lot of people involved. So I'm not yet at conducting operas from memory. I know some colleagues do. Good for them if they get to that point, but you know, I think that should come naturally to conduct from memory, not forcing yourself to be from memory. Or as Otto Klemperer used to say, what if I find something new in the score? Why should I be deprived? Maybe I will open it, and even if I conducted that Beethoven symphony or that Verdi opera hundreds of times, you know, you open it and that night I happen to see a line in the second clarinet that I never saw. So I love French opera and I love to get involved in bringing it to life.
Can we continue?
Dialogue des Carmélites was one of my dreams to conduct. I had been assistant in Montreal on a production and it had the biggest impact on me. And of course, my Catholic religious upbringing makes this opera resonate even more intimately for me.
So this is the new prieur. So their new head has just come on, and she's more like a distinguished peasant. And so her first speech is talking about rabbits and about gardens and stuff, and all the more noble nuns are a bit snobby. So that's why we need to get this color right away. So, da ya da dee ya da dee da da. Okay, we started. So, that's it.
Let's continue. So 34. More separate. Oh. After Quid Lazzarum, let's do 5. So this is Act 2, Poulenc Act 2, rehearsal 5. That's good. That's good.
You asked for she's not marking. She's not marking. Just in case we wanted to be.
Now, okay, great, Karen. Now, can you do it once without marking? Okay. You know that I did make that mistake, rookie mistake. My first opera, L'Incarnazione di Poppea, and there was Drusilla backstage, and I couldn't hear her, and I was trying to be nice and just said, "Now that's great, and now when you won't be marking," and she was like, "No, I was not marking." Oh. But see, first opera, so then you don't make the mistake again, right? Up.
Que voulez-vous dire? Vos remplaçants sont à la chapelle. C'est-à-dire que circonstance est allée les chercher.
Excellent.
Alors,
Oh, there's, yeah, so les chercher.
Alors. Oh, that's on 2, not on 3. We'll get there. Third time to charm.
Just from circonstance est allée.
que circonstance est allée les chercher. Alors, vous avez pépé.
That's good. The genius of Poulenc is making these characters so real without negating their religious backgrounds. This, I think, is completely unique in the history of opera. So do you have an opinion why? This, I have to say, I don't really understand why she's doing here. It's weird to me.
I think this is the beginning of her showing I'm the one that's the moral compass here. I'm the one that's that decides the rules of how things are set.
Great.
And so I'm going to just tell you very gently for the first time, lecture her a tiny bit.
Yeah, okay.
This is how things are here.
So I think we need to be less sweet.
Okay.
Just a little bit.
Sure.
You know, it's piano and it's not aggressive, but mon enfant de grâce.
Okay.
Then the next one we did up to. Are we up to just do the beginning and try this kind of?
Okay, Yannick, yep. That's helpful. That's quite,
right?
kind of a nice sculpt thing. And
you like it?
Yeah, I do.
Good.
Oh, good. Yeah. Yay! Yay!
Okay, let's read. Dominus tecum, benedictato in mulieribus. It shouldn't sound...
Right, shouldn't sound like we all
Okay.
trained it.
Like
it's
not choir school.
It's a real prayer.
Yeah.
Okay.
So when I was chorus master for it a million years ago, I actually prepared it like the true chorus master. Like, oh, this, I said to my girls, like, oh, this should be really a prayer, so almost non-vibrato, and then I was very happy. And Poulenc writes très lié. And this is where, and now, fast forward, this is where it's good to get older, It's like, well, no. Because I remember thinking, oh, he's out of style. Yeah, no. It's actually all their fear, love, comfort, longing, it's all in that prayer. So. This prayer, Ave Maria, usually we think of a prayer as kind of distant, detached, something that is mysterious and is not related to everyday life. But the great thing about religion in music is that every composer is using their deepest personal language in order to convey their own feelings through religion. Whether it's Bach through his chorales, whether it's Verdi through his Requiem, whether it's Mozart through his Requiem, and same for Poulenc. And he is never more touching in the Carmelite than when he really puts a religious text into music. That's it. And it creates church acoustics in the Met. Okay, fine. Thank you. Beautiful. And so we don't have time to do the last scene, but that's fine. We're going to have time to do it later. Great day. Great day, everyone. Great day. Thank you, Marie, for all. Okay? Love you. Love you. And thank you, Donna. It's amazing.
Oh, what a pleasure it is. Isn't it fun? Oh, God, it's fun. Okay.
Hi. Hello. Hello.
Ça va?
On peut même pas dire bon après-midi.
Non, ça va?
Oui, excuse-moi, j'entendais. Oui, ça va. Mon Dieu, il me semble que tu as refait tes cheveux.
Ben oui, ben je les refais moi-même, mais quand ils ont une base.
Pas besoin.
Non, mais ils ont une base.
Hi, Donald. Come on here.
How are you?
Yeah, everything good?
I'm very good. And you?
Good. You know the O Clemens?
Oh, yes.
I think that the P-O-P.
I know.
It's not
still
loud
thick,
enough.
huh?
It's thick. I will tell the ladies, but if we can just get a shimmer.
Yeah.
Oh, Clemens. You know what? For some reason, I think that can be more magical.
I agree.
But, I mean, really. I mean, we'll keep trying.
And I thought ouvrir la porte was all
No,
good.
no, that's all good. All the other offstage stuff is good, and I thought the procession was, I mean, yeah, it's very good. It's
Well, toi,
Good.
toi, toi, to all your
I'll s-
ladies.
Oh, please, I'll
And to you.
tell them. I'll see you
Okay.
after.
Bon, je suis là. Tout est beau?
Yes.
C'est très beau, ça.
Merci.
Trouves-tu que les
Mon look est
couleurs
trop.
sont correctes de ça? Oui. Bonjour, Robert. Bonjour. Oui.
Parfait. Une baguette?
Une baguette Great, no matter what. And now it's 55? Okay, so I'm getting dressed. Bye.
Noon.
No, 12:02.
Ah, OK.
But I need to be preset.
OK.
Oh, super. Mais tu vas revenir à la pause, hein? La pause est courte, par exemple, 20 minutes. Oh,
OK,
oui.
I'll run.
C'est une chose insensée. On ne devrait pas permettre des mots de pardon.
That's
a little
wonderful.
shorter than.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure. I hope. I certainly.
Yeah,
Oh.
kidding.
C'est super beau. C'est super beau. Là, je suis content. Avec raison. Veux-tu manger tout de suite? Non, je vais attendre. J'ai 200 $. C'est cool.
Je trouve ça
Ah non,
incroyable
mais c'est
aujourd'hui, là.
C'est triste. C'est très, très triste.
Juste là. Je pense que
Mais
Karen,
ça, tu
elle a eu les motons
Oh, oui.
dans son Ave Maria.
Ah oui. Oui, ça a fini.
Mais je me suis dit, c'est
Ah oui.
tellement
C'est
beau.
dur pour eux autres.
Que c'est
Ouais,
beau.
c'est pas style.
Puis Erin aussi.
Mais tu sais, là, comme là, j'ai accepté plus ses tempi, mais parce qu'il me donnait plus dans ce que je voulais. L'orchestre, je l'ai fait jouer un peu plus fort, puis...
Ouais.
Puis...
C'est là.
OK. Je suis vraiment content. Je suis vraiment content aussi. Ça vaut la peine que tu sois revenu.
Mais ça?
Thank you. Quite devastating.
No. Okay, thank you. It's a real thrill. Yeah?
Likewise.
Okay,
I
great.
can't do this without you.
Oh, thank you.
Oh, my God.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
Thank you. What an amazing experience. Thank you so much.
We're so lucky to do this together.
Aren't we? So lucky.
And bring this to the people.
Yes. This emotion and this incredible experience. Thank you so much. It's really special.
See you for the concerts.
Yes.
Il y a beaucoup de choses qui changent une vie. Laissez-la bâtir sa vie et la recréer jusqu'à la mort. Ce qui est vrai, c'est le travail extraordinaire que ce garçon de 14-13 ans, je ne sais pas, a fait pour devenir ce qu'il voulait devenir. Et il est devenu. Et je suis très fière de lui.
Tout le monde est un mess en arrière. C'était incroyable en fait. Je comprends.
Moi aussi.
Avec raison.
You're right. It was a great film.
It's the best. The best one.
It's
It's a good way to end your first season.
Right. I see you later anyway. Huh?
Yes.
Peut-être mes parents. Peux-tu envoyer que ce soit mes parents le prochain?
I'm full of gratitude for living my dream of the young boy. And I know it sounds almost cheesy, but that's really the way I feel. For me, music is mystical. The power of music is really where words fail. Music can express.
To find out more, visit pbs.org/greatperformances. Find us on Facebook and follow us on Twitter.